All right. Here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is April 27th, 2021. Most gracious and Heavenly Father, we thank you, God, for yet another opportunity of prayer. We thank you, God, for allowing us to see yet another day, oh God. We thank you, God, for just the gift of life. We thank you, God, for family, friends, loved ones, haters, and everybody else that helps us get to the point that we need to be, oh God. Actually, God, I thank you, God, for my guests tonight. Thank you, God, for the viewers as well. I ask you, God, that you will bless our conversation and that we just have a good time, good atmosphere in your presence. And all these things we ask in the mighty and master's name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, good evening, everyone. Again, welcome to the new edition of the Marvin Bennett Jr. Show. As usual, leave your comments or questions in the comment field on the live feed, and we'll get to them. Got a return guest. Before I get introduced her though, I want to say happy born day to the twins, my cousins Michelle and Michael Daughtry. Happy born day to my man Marky. We had a lot this past week. My man Patrick, my cousin Javetta Whitfield, Dora, my man Jamie, my girl Brianna, my people's Lisa, Catherine, the beautiful playwright Sharon Dodd, Dawn, the sexy Tay Hart, Kiana, my man Rico Suave, my cousin Justina. Then we had today, we had the birthday of one of my long friends, Jamisha Stapleton. Congratulations, a happy born day, as well as congratulations on you and Corey anniversary this previous weekend, celebrating 20 plus years of Black love. I'm happy for you guys. And then on today, I want to say happy anniversary to my cousins, Amber and Keith, celebrating 19 years. Happy Johnny Unitas anniversary. Congrats to you guys. Keep it going, keep on pushing as well. And last but not least, my baby girl, my niece, Miss Jada, turning 9 today. Happy born day, baby girl. Uncle Boo Boo got to come down there and take you for some ice cream for your born day. So I'm going to try to get with your mom so I can get down there to see you real soon.
While we're shouting out birthdays, happy birthday to my little ladies who will be 11 on Thursday.
Word is born. There you go. Happy birthday, twins.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, I'm going to give an early happy born day to Michelle Murray, as well as the big bro, Kurt. Salute, Kurt. Happy born day early, baby. Do your thing. Thank God I don't have any condolences that I'm aware of to give out this week, which seems like the first show ever since I've been doing it. But with that being said, I definitely want to thank everybody for their prayers, their words of encouragement, they texts, they phone calls, whether I got back to you or not. I read them all, I heard them all. I appreciate you guys. Our family, we want to thank all you guys for everything. You know, shout out to the Gibsons for coming to my Aunt Myrna's service. It was so beautiful to see you guys there. You know, my family, we just want to thank everybody for their love and support during this time of bereavement. You know what I mean? Myrna gonna be missed, but we thank you guys for all that came out to celebrate her life with us on last weekend. Greatly appreciate it. You know, if I'm sending out virtual hugs, all of you guys, I really thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, as well as my family. Okay, so with that being said, we didn't do the show last week because of the verses, and then I wasn't ready to quite do a show anyway. But that versus was live. I don't know if you watched it, but the Meth versus Red was
I did not.
Oh my goodness. You missed the treat. You missed the treat. So I was telling people before it started, I said, I guarantee you it's not gonna be like a versus, it's gonna be like a more of a show. And sure enough, that's exactly what it was. They brought everybody out. Yeah, Wu-Tang. Keith Murray made a special appearance. Shout out to my North brother, Do It All from Lords of the Underground. he popped in on them, and they closed it out with, of course, Wu-Tang was in the building, and then they closed it out with EPMD, just shooting some classics. So it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. So, you know.
See, that's because you're from you're from Jersey. So that's that New York, East Coast kind of, I could take it or leave it.
Don't hate. I totally get it, because that's a conversation that me and my friends. Well, let me finish introducing you first, then we get back into that. All right, so tonight we got return guest, the lovely, since she was clowning me last time for my introduction.
Wow.
But we got the lovely LYASHIA, strong, independent Black woman, mother of 3, wife, and just an entrepreneur, a Black woman. As I just finished watching the last show, a Black woman that's taking her chances. She ain't waiting for nobody to give her nothing. She's taking her opportunities.
Hello. That's what you gotta know. Nothing much. Thank you for having me back on the show, the critically acclaimed Marvin Bennett show. Thank you. What did I do to deserve this honor of being back on the Marvin Bennett Jr.?
Just being real and being you. Because I swear, as I was watching it earlier, I said, I got to get with you, because I don't know if we're going to have to do it like once a month, or like I might need a co-host. I watched the playback, and it was like, it wasn't even like watching myself. It was so entertaining. I was like so into it. I was like, yo, good chemistry, yo. I'm going to have to do this more often with live. You know what I'm saying? Especially like, I plan on missing no shows. But if I do have to miss a show, I wouldn't mind if you would step in. I would be honored if you would hold it down for that particular night, or whatever the case may be.
I got you.
No doubt. I appreciate it. But like you were saying, you said you could take it or leave it. I totally feel that, and I'm going to tell you why. Me and my friends in the music industry, we had this conversation all the time. You know, it was a scene in the Notorious Big movie where, you know, everybody know about the whole controversy between him and E40. You know what I mean? So they felt like it was hating. Now, this is what my thing. Not because I'm a big fan, but in his defense, when I've seen the interview that E40 was referring to. Now, it was an interview that was up in Canada, and they asked Biggie about E40. And the paraphrase, he pretty much said, I don't really know much about him. You know what I mean? I'm not hating on him, but I don't listen to his music, so I don't know anything about him. I don't have any opinion on him, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I get that from the total aspect. As much as I love music, when it comes to hip hop, and specifically hip hop, I can honestly admit we are biased. Up north, we are totally biased. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Like, it took me a while to get into the Southern rap, and even with the West Coast, you know, NWA was doing all their thing and all that did, but it was like, I didn't understand that lifestyle. That wasn't my culture. We didn't have any palm trees and so it wasn't relatable to me. I didn't care what UGK was talking about. As cold as they are, great MCs, got mad respect for them, but I didn't care what they was talking about down in Texas because I couldn't relate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not hating or dissing, but I have no opinion on your music because I don't listen to your music. You know what I'm saying?
The funny thing about that is when I moved to the East Coast for a year.
Okay.
And before I moved to the East Coast, I was into Detroit rap and, you know what I'm saying, those
Trick, yeah.
And when I moved to the East Coast, baby, listen, the only thing you heard in my ear, Foxy, all day, Kim, all day. Before, okay, when I was in Detroit, you would have never heard me. Who is Foxy? What? Who is that? When I was there, I was like, oh, this is my girl. So it definitely depends on where you are geographically. That influences the artist that you listen to. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just is what it is. You have to have a very or desire a diverse palette when it comes to music to really tap into other artists. And that's for any genre, rap, hip hop, gospel hip hop, whatever. Your palette just got to be diverse to tap in. Because Foxy, I still rock with Foxy. Okay, you can't tell me. People be like Dej Loaf, or whoever she is.
Dej Loaf, yeah.
What? Give me Foxy. Thank you. What?
That's because you old though. She one of the new ones.
And I cannot get with it. I'd be like, baby.
And I told my brother it was about maybe a couple weeks ago. I was like, man, I feel like hearing some Days because I hadn't heard it in a minute. But I like Days flow. It's different. It's new, but it's different. So yeah. I kind of get with it.
I can't.
Now, as far as Detroit, I didn't know much people. Of course, we all heard Eminem, but I love Royce. Like Royce got mad skills to me. I can vibe with Royce, and that's what I started learning. Like, okay, at least give it a try before you knock it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I remember my boy trying to get me to listen to the UGK. No, bro, I don't want it. Man, you done went to college. You done got countrified, man. Right, but it really wasn't about that. But then the one that really first made me outside of New York, the first one that made me open up my ears and like really start listening, I can vividly remember was the Dungeon Family, the Goody Mob, Ludacris, the Atlanta boys. It was like, man, yo,
they hard.
I can't hate on them. They, you know what I mean? They bringing straight hits, and their lyrical content was so suffice.
That up the bar. Part.
You know what I mean?
That part.
I don't want to just hear good beats. You know what I mean? I want to hear what you're saying. And if you ain't saying nothing, anybody can rhyme.
Exactly. Even to this day, Luda will give you bar for bar, and you just be like, how long you been in the game, and you still can give us bar for bar like that? Oh, you cold. You cold.
Jen said everything went south when the Southerners started rapping.
I cannot. You know what? I think P.D. Pablo tore North Carolina up, though. Listen.
Yeah, he had the one hit. And he had to sing in what was it, Drumline or one of them?
I don't even know.
One of the movies he was in at the halftime show.
He should have not been.
But North Carolina's Go Ahead and Raise Up, that was it was banging everywhere.
Banging. I was like, because I was like, North Carolina, when P.D. Pablo starts singing, I was like, okay, let me find out.
And then I definitely can't hate on North Carolina, not just because I live here now, but I can't hate on North Carolina because, in my opinion, he might be young, but J. Cole one of the best to ever do it.
Listen.
J. Cole on something different.
Listen. J. Cole gives me life. I can rock with J. Cole. Not a baby. Y'all can keep him. Can we trade him in? Can we trade him in? Please. I please.
Yeah, see that's out to the demographic. I could get with some of his content because I understand where he's coming from. I won't go as far as say I'm a fan of him. Not like J. Cole, but I get what he's doing. Like I said, I try not to hate because I grew up in church, so I was always in the gospel. And I always remember like my mom when commissions started coming in and out. And you had the commissions, you had the virtues, you had that new young gospel sound, so to speak. Like my mom was trying to understand it and feel it, but it wasn't the same thing as other music. And people. Exactly. So Fran said it best on the beginning of one of his songs. He was like, God is talking in a today's generation voice. And when I used to speak, I remember telling people like that when it came to music, like we needed, for our age group, we needed Freddie Hammonds. We needed Kirk Franklin's because we were hearing what they were saying. Like Mahalia Jackson wasn't going to get us down to the altar.
Not
like that ain't Mahalia Jackson ain't movie conviction.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at all. Not at all.
And just like we got these new days, the ties and this new era. Like I might not get all of it, but it's getting to my sons. It's getting to the youth.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say. Like you have certain artists. Like every generation has to have their artist that appeals to them. Like Andy Mineo, Lecrae, the 116 Boys. Like all of them. My kids will listen to them, but I put on some Fred. They like.
It's boring.
What's happening right now? But I put on Lecrae. It's like it opens up a whole like they rocking with it, and I'm fine with that because I like Lecrae too. But if that's what's going to minister to my kids,
absolutely,
so be it.
Yeah.
If that's what they can I mean, my kids is little Morrisville kids, so I ain't had no real struggles. But but if that's what they can relate to, and that's what they feel like speaks to them, I'm all for it. I would rather that than the baby. Okay. or
I know
Meg.
that's right. And that's the thing that I think, at the core of true ministry, that's all that matters. Is that the message is, you don't have to understand the message, but as long as it's reaching somebody and drawing somebody closer to God, that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
And music is a big part of that. Because I tell people all the time, I used to tell pastors that and they were hated, but at the end of the day, more people in that congregation, they're gonna remember the quiet song more than they're gonna remember your message. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why songs are so important, in the words and to be led of the Holy Spirit, and to get you to that real place. And some of these new gospel songs are not even saying the name of Jesus. That's because, hey, there you go, Rochelle. And that's the difference. The gospel is the good word, okay? If you're not talking about Jesus, if you're not talking about the actual gospel or the good news, then it's not gospel. Donnie McClurkin said it best. A lot of this music today is not gospel. It's inspirational, but it's not gospel. Right. Exactly. And that's a big difference.
You know what? It depends on the artist, because let me go on and hi, I'm LYASHIA. I listen to all of it. Okay. My boy Lecrae, he is gospel. He talks about his struggles. He mentioned, when you listen to Lecrae, I can't speak for a lot of the rest of them, okay? When you listen to Lecrae, there is no confusion as to who he serves. It's not is this Jesus or what am I listening to exactly? He says Jesus, like Jesus saved my soul. Jesus is the one who got me off the bottle. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I agree 100% that some of these people, it is more inspirational. I mean, let's be honest. Kirk Franklin, okay? Is he gospel or is he inspirational? Because how often do you hear him saying Jesus nowadays?
Yeah, in the later.
I can't recall.
Yeah, and I won't call him a sellout. But me and Janelle was talking on the show last week. I feel like, to a certain degree, I like to think that I'm not one of those people, but to a certain degree, everyone has a price. So it's absolutely. I could keep on doing the Jesus hits and the Hosanna and all that there, but then I could go ahead and diversify, get the same message out there, and cross over, so to speak. Now I get to I'm reaching a whole different platform.
Reaching them now, inspiration without Jesus.
Exactly. So if that's what it takes to get them in the club, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong, I can respect you as an individual to make that choice for yourself. You know what I mean? If you feel comfortable with doing that, hey, more power to you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't have that same level of conviction or whatnot, whatever the case may be. So I totally get that. And I'm not a judge nor no juror to actually convict you on that. But while we talking about music, it's funny, because I didn't think I was going to talk about it tonight, but I really feel it in my spirit to bring it up. Like, that was one thing, because even since, for the last 2 weeks, I've been everything DMX. Just everything DMX, like just going down memory lane. And I can remember the first time I seen DMX, because when DMX made it hot, when he came out in 98, we already knew him up top as far as being a battle rapper. You know what I mean? He didn't have any records and all that, but his name was out there, And when he made it big as DMX, I actually wasn't into hip hop at that time. I was preaching and singing, teaching, and all that kind of stuff there. I wasn't listening to no gospel at all. I mean, no secular at all. It's just gospel and jazz. That's it. Because I didn't want to put that type of stuff in my spirit, no matter how good it is. It's like I didn't want to open up certain doorways through music. And that's a whole different conversation that people don't like to have. But is music pop? Yes, it is. Because music is spiritual. Even in the Bible, it talks about David. They didn't sing a song. It said he played the evil spirit away. So that lets you know that there is power in the music that you listen to that goes beyond just your natural ear. But one of the things, when I remember the first time I seen DMX, like a picture of him on a commercial or whatever for the CD that he had at the time, I was like, I like this dude. Never heard a lyric of what was on the CD or whatever, but I was like, I like this dude because you know what I said in my spirit, what I felt in my spirit, this dude is me. You know what I'm saying? He's now, people would say, this one, well, nah, how you gonna call him a prophet? Everybody up there calling him a prophet? That was blasphemy. He was a man of God and all that there. Let me be clear, yo. He may not have been a man of God that you, or your portrait of a man of God. But I talked about it on the show last week. DMX is the only hip hop show that I ever been to that there was an altar call. Now I've been to many, many gospel concerts, and some of them don't even have an altar call. Now everybody was out there drunk, high, cursing, doing all their things, smoking and everything else, but he still gave everybody an opportunity to come to Christ. You know, everybody always talk about him having praying during his concert. It wasn't just about prayer. He would give you a chance to come to know his Savior.
Right.
Despite all the demons that he was fighting. And like I said, I can relate to that because I'm actually working on a sermon myself now, principle versus practice.
Come on, sermon.
Okay. Because that's something I'm gonna talk about it on the show when I get it done and everything. But it's just because you believe in something, just because you know the way, it's not cool to make an excuse. You know what I mean? Just to continue to live in sin, but it's not always an easy transition for some people. Some people's fights are greater than other fights. And I could connect with him because I know what it's like to be an addict. I know what it's like to have a gambling addiction. I know what it's like to just be obsessed with sex and all these different things, weed, you know what I mean? Alcohol. I've been through all these different phases in my life. So I knew the strongholds that he was fighting on a constant basis. Now imagine on top of having these problems, you get handed the whole wide world.
Right.
Where now you have access to the best drugs. You have the access to the best women. You know what I mean? You have access to the best of everything. Add that on top of a problem, it's just going to create a greater problem.
Absolutely.
You know, so I always prayed for him. He was always a part of it. He was always a part of my prayers because, but for the grace of God, that could have been me.
It could have been.
You know what I mean? It's just like some of us we fight the same fights, but we not nationally known, so the world don't see us in our everyday struggles the same way we see these guys.
I think it goes back to what people see. He was so transparent and just so honest about who he was and what he was struggling with. And a lot of times, you know, some people's struggles are just more visible than others. Like some people, like you said, struggle with fornication. Some people struggle with, you know, alcoholism. Some people struggle with gluttony. Like there's different struggles. And because other people's struggles aren't as visible or weren't as visible as his, you know, a lot of times people deflect, you know, look at their struggles, because those are the ones that's on display. And it takes attention away from your struggles, or you know what I'm saying, what you're dealing with, your demons, what you're going through. I actually was gonna do because you might not know, but I do like sometimes like these minute or two inspirational posts or little words that I do. And that was one of them. Like, we need to, as people, we need to embrace our struggles and look our demons in the face so that we can deal with them. A lot of times people, you know, brush off and, you know, pretend they're there. And that's what keeps you in the cycle of having to deal with them over and over and over again, because a lot of times people are afraid to just acknowledge and admit. Unfortunately, you know, DMX knew what his struggles were. Everybody knew what DMX's struggles were, because he didn't pretend. He didn't, you know, put up this wall. Like, this is who I am. I'm DMX. I'm an addict. I have a drug addiction. This is how my drug addiction started. Like, this is how long I've had. He was just very open and honest with it. And I can applaud that, man of God or not. I applaud the transparency and the honesty. You didn't have anything to say, well, I think DMX is this, or I think DMX is that, or he's struggling. No, because he told you, this is who I am. You know, his voice only he could do, I'm DMX. Like, you know, he gave it to you real, like, you know, like only he could do, but he told you what it was. And a lot of times people just that opens up a whole new topic. People are so afraid to just be who they are because they're so worried about what somebody else is going to have to say. And that keeps you struggling and dealing with the things that you are trying to run away from, because you're too concerned about what somebody else is going to have to say. Okay, you're dealing with alcoholism. Admit to yourself, I'm dealing with alcoholism. I don't really care what anybody else has to say about it. This is my struggle, and I need to figure out, with the help of God, how to move through this, how to get past this, how to get beyond that. Who cares that Keisha and Pookie know that you have an alcohol problem, right? Who cares? Because I guarantee they got their own struggle. Mm-hmm. They're just not going to tell you what it is because they're too busy trying to look good for the masses. So they continue to sit in their hurt, cover it up, say because they want to save face. No, I'm dealing with XYZ. I need help. You can look pretty if you want to, sitting in your struggle, but I'm good. So I can applaud DMX, regardless of what people have to say about his relationship, because in real life, that was his relationship with God. He knew what his relationship was. It's not for any of us to, take his relationship and dissect it and, oh, but he did this. Okay, but what are you doing? Mm-hmm. He drunk this. Oh, but what was in your cup last Saturday?
Exactly.
Oh, he did. But what are you doing, ma'am, sir? Mm-hmm. So it's not for us to dissect, but just as a person, period. I can respect his transparency and who he was, what his struggles was, what he brought to the table. Transparency and honesty will win with me 100% of the time.
Absolutely.
Man of God, man or woman or not. Just keep it a buck with me. That's always it. That's always.
And you took the words right out of my mouth. That was literally my whole point. I can't help but to respect that because, like I said, I grew up in church, but he helped me. Seeing him be so open about his struggles helped me to talk about my struggles.
Right.
And I knew I could talk about my struggles, but I'm a man of God. I'm this and I'm that did. I can't tell people this here and that did.
Right.
And it brought me to a place. He showed me, yes, you can. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they think about you. It doesn't matter how they judge you, like you spoke to. It comes down to your personal relationship with God. Just like marriages and other relationships. No marriage looks alike. Your marriage does not look like your parents' marriage or your grandparents. Therefore, when it comes to salvation, none of our relationship with Christ is going to look the same either. But if I say that I have a relationship with Christ, respect the fact that I'm telling you that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to understand it. You don't have to understand the way that it looks or why I do it, because it's not your place to understand. Like you said earlier, you need to focus on you.
Period. Because I promise, if we pull the cover back, we'll probably be like, "Dang, for real?
Hello?
Like that's how you rolling? Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? That is crazy." Absolutely. But you made a comment, and I think that rolls us right into our next topic. The comment of your marriage, your relationship is not like your grandparents or your parents. Let's talk about it. Oh, I think Marvin. Oh,
there you go. I'm back with you. There you go.
Okay. I said you made a comment, and I think rolls us into a great next topic. You made the comment of our relationships are not like our parents or our grandparents. I think we should.
Before we get transition there, okay, I got to go on record because I even wrote it down. I said, now, one thing about me is, contrary to popular belief, I have no problem at all admitting when I'm wrong. I'm very opinionated. Okay. I'm very strong-willed. But when I'm wrong, I have no problem at all saying that I'm wrong. Now, part of me, it hurts because I was so strong in my beliefs. But it doesn't matter how much you believe something. If facts show different than what you believe, it really doesn't matter. You know, everybody always talk about you're entitled to your opinion. If your opinion is proven to be wrong factually, then it's no longer an opinion. And if you choose to still stick by it, then that's your choice. I won't call you an idiot or stupid, but that's your choice. And I will admit that I was wrong when we talked about on the last one. So I wanted to publicly apologize to you for that, because we were talking about how if a black man, an educated black man, and an educated black woman go out for the same job, I felt that being that we more of a threat overall in society, that the black woman would get that job. Now the number show, I'm absolutely wrong on that. And you were right on that because you kept saying it too. He's like, I can't get with you on that then. Like y'all got it hard, but I can't get with you on that. The numbers show that 97% of the time, if the same educated black man, you put the same resume, same college application, same resume in front of him, you got a black man sitting in front of you and a black woman sitting in front of you, that black man is going to get the job. And I did not think that was actually true, but it is true. So I apologize. You was wrong, and I was wrong, and you were right.
Thank you.
So let me give you your roses on that.
Thanks. Apology accepted.
And while I'm there, I wanted to clarify something too, because I used the wrong words when I was talking about how back in the day, you know, when it came to the men, you know, they were just gonna kill us. So we wasn't gonna have no opportunity to go to school and cover this or get entrepreneurship and none of that did. I was like, I think I used the words, y'all get a chance to. Let me be clear. Okay. I wanna apologize for that too. I used the wrong words. Being raped, that is not an opportunity or
Hello.
You know, an advantage. You know what I'm saying? In the plight of things, now I still stand by. I feel like in the overall scheme of things, what I do is I rest assured knowing the fact that we can never understand each other's struggle. We just acknowledge that both of us struggle. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Now I feel like overall that a black man is more threatful because of the way society is. Okay, even with these dudes being killed by the police and stuff. And we see it all these videos. I tell people all the time, the media is the news and all these outlets, CNN and the court TV, all these places. They puppeteers. They like to pull the strings to get us riled up. Because now all of a sudden, why are we now all of a sudden seeing these influx of white people resisting arrest and fighting the cops back and all this kind of stuff here? Like this ain't not something new. And there's been video of it, but now all of a sudden, it's like you trying to show these tapes to combat what we're dealing with over here, which is totally wrong. Now, having said that, even though I think that is more difficult, especially I don't speak as a black man, I think it's difficult to be a walking target and a threat at the same time. But I do wholeheartedly admit that black women, as far as quantity wise, they have to endure and go through so much more. You were talking about on the last time you were on how the black women, they held it down. They had to hold it down. They had to be the mission. They had to, do all these different tasks. Absolutely 100%. And I could even admit that, and I always admit it, it's not something that I'm proud of. It's not something I'm saying of, but I am a male chauvinist. I do look at a lot of things chauvinistically. But I do admit one thing. I can remember when the boys were younger and they was going to school, both of them started going to school. We was like, we want somebody to be there with them. So I was a stay-at-home dad in the beginning. Man, listen, I used to tell you, and I remember you talking about how, you got to make sure the girl's hair done. All more got to do is get dropped off at the airport. I can wholeheartedly, honestly say, be a stay-at-home dad. When you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're getting the house together, you're paying homework, you're helping them with homework, getting dinner ready and all that kind of stuff there were days that I was like, man, you know what? I wish I did have a laboring 9 to 5, because that's so much easier just going to work, punching the clock, than to doing all these different tasks every single day. The laundry, you know what I mean? Making sure the house clean, making sure it's hard work. It is hard work. So hats off to all the women that hold it down.
You get a round of applause, because guess what? Most men will never admit that.
No.
Being at home, so some of your viewers may know and some may not. I am an entrepreneur running multiple businesses. I also have a 2-year-old who will soon be 3. I have 2 10-year-olds who will be 11. My mom lives here and I'm married. I work from home pre-COVID. Okay. Home is my hub for work, mommying, wifing, daughtering, friending, cooking, cleaning, chauffeuring, doctor, nurse, to everybody. Okay, psychiatrist, social worker. I am detention watcher. I am the police in my all these things. And a lot of times people just don't understand it. They say, well, you work from home. And I made a post about this actually because a lot of times people think, oh, well, you work from home. Now, with COVID, people now have a different perspective because they have now had to do a lot of the things that stay-at-home moms had to do. And it's unfortunate that some people will say, well, you're a stay-at-home mom. You're not working on top of staying at home. But I made a post because with me being a business owner and working and staying home, I took a picture one day of my, at that time, 1-year-old. I had to get business done, okay? Because as an entrepreneur, if you don't work, you don't eat. Okay? There is no calling off. You can. Income
you just don't get no money.
Right. So at the time, I had to do what I needed to do for one of our businesses. And my 1-year-old was literally knocked out on my lap. She wouldn't sleep anywhere else. And I took a picture, clothes all around me, on my bed, 1-year-old on my lap, laptop behind her with me trying to work. Because what you see on TV, feet kicked up, looking pretty, that's not the reality. The reality is my room looks a mess sometimes. The reality is I need a housekeeper. The reality is sometimes stuff is just in disarray, but a lot of people don't know or understand that. So I too salute mommies. I too salute stay-at-home dads or grandparents who are, standing in the gap because it's not easy. It's not
at all.
easy. Not at all. And I love traveling. And with COVID, they stripped me of my rights.
Oh man.
They stripped me of my rights to travel. So I was losing my mind. I was having to go down memory lane. But let me tell you, the summer is looking real pretty. I'm making up for lost time.
I know that's right. I know that's right. And for all you fellas out there, like you said, you spoke on it, but all you fellas out there that don't believe, yeah, man, I hear you, yada, yada, yada. Listen, I used to say that teachers was the most underrated, underpaid job in America. That is not true. That stay-home parent, listen, man, it is hard work. Because think about it, devil's advocate. All right, let's play devil's advocate for a second. Let's remove genders for a minute or roles. Whether you the one that's out there working. Let's say one of you in the marriage or the relationship, you're the stay-at-home person when the other one is the breadwinner. Okay. The same way when you out there working and you had a bad day at work, you trying to use that car ride home, you know what I'm saying, to get your mental together because you don't want to bring that home and you don't want to bring it to your children or that bad day to your spouse or your partner, whatever the case may be. You gotta go through this psychological thing. Now, imagine you get to have that ride home to kind of switch those gears. Imagine when you already at home and you still got to be there. Okay, babe, how was your day today? Do you need me to rub your feet? Like when it's like the old Calgon commercials. Remember the Calgon? Calgon, take me away. Like when do you ever get to a Calgon moment?
You don't. But you know what? I think there are people who have some really, really good partners. Now, one thing about me and Mo and I have been married for this year will be 15 years. And it's been some time. So I was like, throw the whole marriage away. Throw the man away, throw the marriage, burn the certificate. I don't want it because you're not hearing what I need, right? But over time, he has become more aware. He's tuned in a little more, right? And so I got to give a shout out to my partner, my spouse, my husband, who he sees, all right, honey, I see you getting a little burnt out. Do you need a massage? Do you need me to set it up for you? Like he knows that I have to step away to decompress. I love my family, and he knows I will run myself into the ground for my family, to the point Marvin, where I can't, like, I would do these staycations, right? I would do these little getaways by myself to just binge watch a show or eat whatever I wanted for a day, like just to get away, right? And let's be clear, he has the ability to do the same thing because
Mhm.
men and women get burnt out, right? So I was just talking to him one day. I was like, I'm really like losing it a little bit. I'm teetering. He booked me the cutest little Airbnb and was like, honey, go take some time to yourself. Enjoy your evening. We will see you when you come back home. Most, come on, like, it takes a person kind of being in tune. Like I said, it hasn't always been like that. We have known each other now, been dating for 17 years, been married for 15. It ain't always been like that. But there are some partners who and spouses who really help lighten the load, right? And so shout out to those spouses who may be watching, or if you have a spouse that is amazing and who you know helps take some of the load off of you, go thank them, especially if you're married. Thank them the right way. God bless. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for coming to my talk.
Shout out to my brother, the salt shaker, Mr. Mo.
Ah! Salt shaker. Yes, he hooked me up that night. But I said that to say again, there's some partners, there's some spouses who do recognize how difficult it is, for their spouse. He actually pulled me off my job. And you know what he said? And I was like, wow, I kind of like you a little bit more. He said, honey, I don't want you working for someone else. I want you to work on building your own dream and legacy. I said, this man want me to be with him forever. He better come on. it was the most beautiful thing. Like, he like, I don't care how many hours I gotta work. I don't care how much, time I gotta put in. I don't want you working for somebody else. I want you to work to build your own legacy and your own, what I want you to be able to leave our kids something if that's what you desire. If you desire to go back to work in a couple years, go back. But there are some spouses and some partners who recognize how difficult it is for us as women, because let's be clear, some partners and spouses expect you to still come home and do all these things and wear all these hats even after working a full-time job. So shout out to those people who are amazing partners and who get it.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Mo. I'm so glad to hear that he was actually listening to all my lessons.
Well, amen. Thank you for dropping on that.
I can teach it. I just don't always have time to follow through.
Clearly,
I'm working on that the principle versus practice.
Who would have thought?
I can teach it, but I have a hard time following through. But which leads me, and we're gonna transition to what we were talking about. But that's what it takes. Just like you say, at the end of the day, shout out to all those good partners, whether you're married or not, that's holding each other down. Because at the end of the day, all it takes is work to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're working together, you can make, as long as y'all working together on the same page, y'all can make anything happen.
Absolutely.
You can change the world. But you can't be working against one another within the same relationship. I always use that analogy, like, if we in the car together, it don't matter how much you want to go to California and I want to go to Florida. Both of us in that same car, we not getting to the destination. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody got to give up.
Yeah, we got to be working on one accord. Okay, well, since we can't go to Florida, I don't want to go to California, and I don't want to go to Florida. Well, how about we go to Tennessee? How about we meet in the middle somewhere, whatever the case may be? But it really comes down to working together. And like I said, I watched the playback, and that was the last thing you said. You said the next time you was on, you wanted to talk about how we could explore why is it that when it comes to black love and our relationship these days, particularly marriage, why don't we see marriage the same way we did with our grandparents? Not necessarily our parents, but as far back as our grandparents. Because I can't really remember too many people that talk about how they grandparents were divorced. That's like real rare for our age group. You know what I mean? To say that your grandparents, like some of us, we say we know what it's like for our parents to be divorced or separated or whatever the case may be, but not our grandparents. Like,
Right.
it was always grandma and granddaddy. Even if they had
Absolutely.
separate rooms or whatever
Right.
the case may be, they stayed married. So we kind of wanted to talk
Absolutely.
about that today, and some of you guys can chime in too. And being that you brought it up, I'm gonna let you close it out. I'm gonna start it off by saying it's real simple to me. People don't want it, like I just mentioned earlier. People these days, they don't want to put the work in. That's like the top thing to me why we don't see the same exact thing. Because you must be crazy. You done literally lost your natural mind if you think Grandma Fannie Mae ain't want to leave Granddaddy Charles. You know what I'm saying? But she wasn't thinking about what she wanted. She wasn't thinking about living her best life. She was thinking about the family, the structure of the family, and the greater good. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, people hate it or love it, but and I'm not here to bash him as a character, but there's always been stories out there about Martin Luther King. His infidelity and being loose with the women and all that kind of there. And I'm not making no excuse for it. But I tell people all the time, can you imagine? You this prolific speaker, everything that comes out your mouth, everybody is listening to, whether they want to or not, black or white. And every town you go to, you got hundreds of women that's, you know what I mean? Oh my God, brother Martin, can I fix you something to eat? Anything I could do? You've been walking 80 miles in them hard bottom shoes. So don't get it twisted. Coretta was no fool. And she could have, just like Hillary Clinton, remove race from it. Bill Clinton got caught in the White House. You know what I'm saying? Hillary Clinton, everybody said, "Oh man, she's stupid. Why would she stay with him? Why would she stay with him?" And all that did because they got money. That's the only reason she stayed. No, because it's about an image. You know what I mean? It's about that daughter. It's about showing your daughter every time the things gonna get tough, you don't have to high in and just bounce. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I feel like, especially with this generation, it's sad to me to say, but marriage has no value no more. It's just something that we do. Marriage is no different than going to the car dealership and getting a brand new car. I'm going to try it out for 2 years, and if it don't work out, I'm going to trade that in and get me another one.
I agree
there. But when you look at it from a spiritual aspect, and you look at it from the Bible, and I wish anybody would debate me on that did. That is not what the concept of marriage was designed to do. You know what I mean? And I was looking at it. I didn't even know we was going to talk about that today. But for some reason, I was reading up on marriage today. And I was reading up on divorce in particular. I wanted to see, like, where did marriage come in and where the divorce is. So that was one of the things that I was studying on my person. And when you look at it, people always say, well, if God didn't, if it wasn't part of God's plan, he wouldn't have gave us divorce, the option for divorce. Okay. Now let's be clear. If you go study it, God didn't give us that thing. That was something that that was something that the man came up with. You know what I mean? If you need an out, if a woman is being sexually active with somebody other than her husband or vice versa, those are grounds for divorce, because during that time there was so much of that going on in the church world. You know what I mean? So, but initially when God created marriage, there was no clause for no out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That was something that we came up with ourselves because we was looking for a way out. You know what I mean? So I look at it just like that. You know what I mean? I'm not sure you can expand upon it, but to me, I think at the end of the day, we don't want to put the work in. You know what I mean? We want everything to be. We want to have happiness. We want to have joy. We want to have love, but we don't want to have. That's why the vows are like they are. Do the good and the bad, in sickness and in health. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna let you know, like you said, every day it's gonna be some days like I really don't even like you. You know what I'm saying? Like I really don't even like you. I still love you, but I don't like you today. But is that enough for me to throw everything away that we've invested already?
Right. So my take on this. So my grandparents, I have a set of grandparents who were divorced. Okay. And I have a set of grandparents who are still married to this day. They are 65 years in. right? Beautiful to watch. My grandmother is in her 80s. She's like upper 80s. My grandfather is 93. And a couple years back, probably we've been married 15 years, maybe 10 years ago, we went to visit them, right? And my grandmother, even growing up, my grandfather would come because they too were entrepreneurs. So my grandfather would come in the house and William, what you want for dinner? They're from the South. My grandfather's from Kentucky, my grandmother Mississippi. William, what you want for dinner? What you want for dinner, honey? Oh, I want some greens. I want this, I want that. My grandmother would go to the garden, pick the greens, clean them, cook them. We would have Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner on Tuesday. Okay? Because this is what my grandfather wanted. So I grew up watching my grandmother cater to my grandfather and my grandfather do the same in a different way. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was like, oh my gosh, this, when I grow up, like, this is what I want. I want a husband who does this. I want a marriage like this because this is what I see from my grandparents, right? But I also had another side where they weren't married. They were divorced. My grandfather had passed away from alcoholism, and my grandmother was
I ain't going to pick no greens out no garden.
I'm an independent woman. Hear me roar. Okay. I had both of these. So for me, I had and my mother, she was married, and unfortunately her husband passed away. But I had both of these things to look at, right? I had both sides. I could, and this is with life. You have two options, right? For me, I had two options. I could either look at my grandmother, who was very, very independent, or I could look at my grandmother, who was very interdependent, right? And it wasn't that she lacked independence. It wasn't that she wasn't all woman. It was, but I respect my husband, and I respect his role, and I respect his position. And like you said, she was my grandfather's rider, okay? Because they are very much saved now. But in the beginning of their marriage, they had some things that they went through, and my grandmother kind of stuck it out and said, listen, sir, I'm gonna give you a little bit more time. But it took my grandfather recognizing what he had in his wife to change his ways, right? So I say that to say, nowadays people just don't realize what they have. They don't value what they have. Goes back to you saying there's no value in marriage. There's not, right? They don't value the person that they see. How can I put this? The person that they see, they only see for face value. Are you pretty? Are you handsome? Do you have a job? Do you have a house that you can put me in? Or, do we have a car that we can drive? They don't look at what values do you bring to the table? What do your morals look like? What does your family look like? Because all of that matters, right? Because if we have kids, these are the things that's going to be instilled into our children. So what does your whole makeup look like? People aren't looking at the whole makeup of a person. They're just looking at the person, right? And we've been dating for 4 years, but do I know your family? Like, what is your mother like? How does your sisters and your brothers behave? Like, what is all this? What's the makeup? People don't look at that. So that's one reason I feel like marriages aren't surviving, because we don't get past the face value of things to really understand and know who we're marrying. And once we're married, all this stuff is now being pulled out of this, like a magician, and all this stuff is being pulled out, and you're seeing things that you didn't see prior to getting married. I learned some things about my husband that I didn't know until after the ink was dry, and I was like, baby, what's this? Like, I didn't know that was there, because if I knew that was there prior to marrying you, sir, I don't know that we would be married. And I'm sure it was the same for him. I'm sure there was some things that he was like, yo, I wouldn't have married you, sis, if I knew what I knew now. Yeah. Sis, I wouldn't have married you. So that's definitely one thing. I also think another thing is social media. I think we have way too much access and we have too much of a vantage point into people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And you have people who, you have the DMs, it goes down in the DMs, right? You have people
Yes,
who
it
will
does.
out people, right? Like you said, you better believe that Grandpa Snooky was over at Lula Mae's house.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no social media. There was no cameras to record it and post it. There was no texting. Girl, I saw Grandpa Snooky at Lula Mae house. It was none of that. Grandpa Snooky just moved in silence. He moved real quiet because he could. Nowadays, you can't do that. You can't do that because everybody's right here with it. You moving funny. Caught you. You're on camera. I'm posting. I'm going live. Everybody's about to see this. What's that? So that in and of itself, that social media thing is very, very toxic when it comes to relationships and the longevity of some of them. I applaud marriages or couples who have the accounts together. Now, that you know, but listen, you got to do whatever works for your marriage. If that's what works for your marriage, then do what works for your marriage. But social media is definitely too much of a gateway into people's relationships and into their lives, and it gives people too much access and ability to comment on stuff that they don't really know much about. Because if you see a couple today, right, they happy, you see them moving, they taking family pictures together, and then you see them next week and the kids is in between them, they on the outside, people start making assumptions. Last week they were standing together, the kids was on the outside. This week the kids is in the middle. They having problems. I know they having problems. Girl, did you see that picture she posted? They having problems.
Mm-hmm.
And this stuff that you start to put out there now becomes a thing that's not really a thing. Like, I don't wear a wedding ring. Okay, my wedding finger is very bare because I can't.
Ooh.
Because I can't. People will see this and be like, girl, is Mo and La okay? What's going on? Mm-hmm. We're very okay.
Why can't you wear a ring?
Because I don't wear a ring. People will think, because people have said, where your ring at? A ring is just the outward, it's just the outward show that I'm married. I know I'm married. Who cares about a ring? My grandma ain't really wearing one. She's still married 65 years later. So I know people who have gotten $8,000-$9,000 rings and have had to return it when they got divorced. So
absolutely,
it's just social media just has given us too much of an access to people's life. The last thing I'm going to say about this, why I feel like our generation is not surviving as long as our grandparents, is a lot of people aren't seeing marriage.
Or what?
Lot of people just aren't seeing marriage. They're not seeing it.
Gotcha.
They're not seeing it. They see a lot of the single, independent woman. I am woman, hear me roar. And there is nothing wrong with that. I'm all for strong, beautiful, black, white, pink, brown, yellow woman. I'm all for it. But when a person doesn't see that, they tend to defer to what they did see. Like I said in the beginning, I had two options. I could go from the independent woman that I saw with my one grandmother, or I could go or defer to the side with my grandparents who've been married for 65 years. So when this is all you see, is that single independent woman, doing her thing, you tend to think, well, my grandma did it, so why can't I? Mm-hmm. And so the first sign of trouble in a marriage, it's like, I don't need you. I can do this by myself. Like, I'm good. My grandma took care of my mama by herself, so I could take care of our kid by herself, and you could just come pick them up for the holidays because I don't really need you, right? Because this is what we saw. This is what a lot of people, men and women, were raised on. It's independence, not interdependence, not learning how to be independent, but still, like, I tell people all the time, listen, I need a warm leg next to me. Okay. Y'all can have that. I'm independent. I don't need no man. I very much need mine. That's what I need y'all to know. Y'all can have the independent woman thing. I don't want it. I'm all for, like I said, a strong black woman, but I need a leg next to me.
And it goes back to something I say all the time too, that just because your mentor, just because your idol did it that way, and what you look at is strength and power, it doesn't make it right. You know what I'm saying? Or don't mean that it's gonna work for you. You know what I mean? Like you said, it goes back to what you said earlier. I kind of want to go back to the social media because I agree with to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like DL used to say, you know, you didn't have the social media back then. Like DL say, you can move literally like 5 blocks away and start a whole other family and not even see each other.
Right.
So those times was definitely different.
You could do it in private.
But I don't give as much merit to social media because I'm one of those people that's on the outside. I see so many people say that social media is to be used this way and social media is to be used this way. Okay, there is no law on how social media is supposed to be used. That's first and foremost. So it's about what you invest in it. I noticed that literally like 90% of the people that I see posting stuff talk about, I don't care what nobody else think of me. I'm going to do whatever I want to do and how I want to do it. Those be the main ones that's posting stuff like that for likes, for hearts, for reactions. You know what I mean? Because you saying one thing, but deep down inside, you're looking for that approval. You know what I mean? Absolutely. If you know, and I'm not hating on nobody or what they do. I'm saying, but I'm just saying, like, yo, how many pictures do you have to post in a day? You know what I mean? Did you forget how you look? Like, what are you reaching for that you posted all these different pictures every single day? So it's like it's not. I won't put the blame solely on social media, but
definitely not.
The responsibility of you or how much you invest in social media. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, I see the post of how people always talk about, well, I use my social media just for jokes and all that did. If you believe what you read, that's on you. Okay. That's the way you may choose to use your platform on social media. I use my platform on social media to express how I feel. What I post is my real life. Right. I crack jokes and everything else too, but I talk about real stuff on my post. Right. You know what I mean? Because that's my right. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So It's I don't look at nobody that just use it for the jokes and all that did. No way that I'm better than them or vice versa. But come on, people, we talking about social media. I think it's highly too much time, energy, and everything that's invested into social media. You know what I mean?
True. Very true.
And I honestly believe that because I tell people all the time, I don't go to bed. I don't count how many people reacted to my post at the end of the night, whether it's one person, whether it's 50 people, whether it's none. Well, if the Lord give me something to share, I'm going to put it out there. Because you know what? At the end of the day, before I even started doing it, you know what he told me? Do what I tell you to do. Whether they respond or not, they reading it. They seeing it. You know what I'm saying? So just do what I tell you to do because it's getting to where it needs to be.
Right.
So I would never, and trust me, you know me, I got a sense of humor, and I don't hold no punches. So I tote that line, and I'll say whatever I want to say, but wanting to please God in my ways, I had to personally be more conscious at this. Yeah, I could post this here, and it is funny, and everybody would get it and get a laugh out of it, but how does that reflect on my image as trying to be a representative of God? You know what I mean? Is my humor, is my sense of humor going to be counterproductive to my ministry?
But you know what? Them people don't be caring about what you post. They care about what you comment in the DM. They could care less about what you say.
Absolutely.
Some people actually have targets on their backs because they're so positive or so uplifting or so like pro marriage and those are the people who have targets. Like I've heard people say, oh, she got a wedding ring, he got a wedding ring, oh, he prime realty. Because he or she has a wedding ring on. So that's why I said social media, because social media just gives you access to people's lives, whether they want you to or not. Like you said, you post, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what it's for. You should post. But it's kind of it's like a dating site without being a dating site. It's a Christian mingle without being a Christian mingle. It's plenty of fish without being a plenty of fish.
Mm-hmm.
It is a gateway to people. Period. It's a gateway to people.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I can honestly say I got plenty of women friends in my friends list that I've never met, but we had good rapport. We go back and forth. We go back and forth with comments, had good conversations, things of that nature. So definitely, yeah. But at the same time, it's all about what, like I said, it goes back to how much you really invest into that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not out here just scrolling through pictures to see, well, dang, see, you know what I mean? It's like, because that's not what I choose to do.
You're an anomaly. You're an anomaly. Okay. Exactly. You're an anomaly, sir, because people scroll. I'm married, and I look at people's pictures, not necessarily men. I look at men and women, and I'm married, right? And I'm sure my husband look at men and women. It's just a natural. I went to school with her. Let me look at her. I feel like I got nieces and nephews on here. Ain't never met them a day in my life, but that's
exactly.
She graduated, or my niece, she got a job. Look at my nephew playing ball or what, So listen, social media connects us in ways that we never thought that they would. That it connects us in ways that our grandparents didn't have. My grandma don't know nothing about social media. My dad made her a Facebook thing. I declined because what we're not gonna do is be social media. That's where we okay.
No, you did not shut grandma down.
Decline. That's what we're not gonna do. Okay. Since you haven't had social media for 86 years, why start now? Decline. Okay. We're not doing that.
That is too funny.
No, it's not happening. But they just didn't have social media. So people didn't have such access to them. But like somebody on here said, their grandparents both had side pieces.
Yo, I wanted to get to that. My friend Jennifer, yeah. Thanks, Jennifer, for the comment. Not thanks for the circumstances, but thanks for the comment.
This is going to sound crazy. Yes, thank you, Jennifer, for dropping that. This is going to sound so crazy. But her grandparents could side piece in peace. Okay? They could side piece in peace. And
that's crazy, but yeah, you're right. You're right.
And so it didn't look crazy to the world. So they could save face and still had this image of family. Like, we got our family, like we together. But this really who I love, but because I'm expected, because we got this family. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do what we need to do over here. Yeah. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, though.
But you know where my heart at.
Right. There was no social media. There was no public, you know what I'm saying? Let that happen now. Let that happen now.
Yeah, you can't. You're right. You're right from that aspect.
It does.
Like Dion said that same thing. You ain't meet siblings until you got to the funeral. Like, who is that?
Right.
Half the time, the mothers would know about the other kids and the side pieces and stuff like that.
But she said, I actually liked the both of them. They gave good gifts as well. You know what?
Yo, you my girl, Jen. At least you keep it real, yo. You keep it straight 100.
Listen, I had no dog in the fight. I want all the Christmas gifts.
All the gifts coming to me.
But like I said, they could side piece in peace. Like today. That's why in real life that you have people who have been killed over stuff like this, like exposing stuff. And actually, one of my friends posted the other day, like, if I see your partner hugged up with somebody, would you want me to tell you? Been there, done that. And I lost my friend who eventually lost the guy. That's why, LYASHIA, hello, that's me. Mind's my business. If I see your man hugged up, sis, I'm going to take this quick pic and I'll shoot it to you. What you choose to do with it after that is your business. I'm not doing all that. I'm going to shoot you the pic and that's all you get from me. Because I've been in that situation more times than I would like to be. And that goes back to side piecing in peace. They could do that. They ain't had camera phones and all that. It just, No.
Yeah, and that's
what we're talking about is why marriages nowadays don't last as long as our grandparents. Then Jennifer happened to mention her grandparents who both had side pieces. That's how that came about.
I thought he's about to try to come in on the side piece conversation. Don't run.
Lord have mercy. Welcome to the talk. Welcome to
welcome, Ryan.
Ronald Huff. So yeah, that's how that came about. But that's why I think it doesn't last. And like I said, people just don't get married for the same things. Like back in the day, they actually used to love each other. Like for real. Like they actually loved each other. Some of them, because again, like Jennifer just said, her grandparents was like, we in this for the kids. We in it for the long haul, but we in it for the kids. I don't want no person.
and I think that's real important too, because we talked about it on a previous show where I was talking about, they were asking, at what point do you have that conversation? But I say that if you're dating someone and you're getting serious or whatever the case may be, at what point do you have these conversations? But I think that they're very vital and they're very important. What are your religious beliefs?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
What are your religious beliefs? What are you looking for in marriage? Why do you feel we should get married versus stay together, or whatever the case may be, to make sure that we're on the same page? Because in my personal opinion, counseling people over the years, I feel like, this is just my opinion, but I feel like far too many people get married based off of potential, what you could be. Where I feel like you should be getting married on for who that person is right now and then, and if they never get better, if they never become successful, if they become a crack, whatever it is, accept that person for whoever they are, because they might not ever, even though it's a beautiful thing to see the strength or the growth or what somebody could be in your partner, you have to be willing to love them unconditionally, so that if they never reach that point, you know what I mean, now you're not so disappointed. You see what I'm saying?
That's a good point. Marrying people for what they bring to the table now versus potential. We as women get very caught up in potential. Men, not so much. Women, we get caught up in, I see it. I see what he can become. I feel it. Like, I know he has so much in there. Listen, sis. Marry that man for who he is today, not who you think he will become next week. Because I thought I was marrying an engineer. Okay? I thought I was marrying an engineer. And here I am with an entrepreneur. That's the wrong E. Okay? The wrong E.
Yeah.
But I married, and we got married young. We got married at 21. So I married based on what I felt like it could become, because I watched my grandparents, right? At that point, they had been married for 50 years. So I had been watching them for 21 of the 50. And by the time I started watching them, they were kind of in the prime of it. They had kind of worked out a lot of the nuts and, a lot of the nuts and bolts of it. They were kind of on cruise control. So that's what I saw. I didn't see the bumps and bruises from year 1 through whatever. I saw cruise control and automatically thought, marriage, this is what it'll be. And I wish somebody would have been like, oh no, sis, you didn't see year 1 through 20, or year 1 through 19. Like, you didn't see that. All you see is cruise control, thinking this is what it'll be. Yeah. This ain't it, sis. This ain't it.
Because then all of a sudden, when he don't start leading up to that way 5 years later, this no good joker. I done got stuck with it, you know what I mean? Because you was basing your marriage off of potential. Julian had a good comment. Julian said, I think another reason
it doesn't last. Read
it. Huh? You just read it?
I just read it. And I said that too, that people marriage is not being taught. Yeah. Because I said that. Julian, you missed that part, but I said that marriage is not being taught to people. It's being particularly to, nope, I'm not going to even say to women. A lot of people are being born into these single parent households for whatever reason, right? We could say that our Black men are being incarcerated or murdered or whatever, and it's leaving women to be single parents, whatever narrative we want to insert there. The bottom line is, more times than not, kids are being born into single parent households, right? And that's what they see. A lot of times you defer to what you saw. I had a friend who said my parents were married, and they're still married. The friend said my parents were married, and they stayed married because of us, the kids. She said, little did they know that they did more damage than good by staying married, because we knew that they didn't want to be married by the way they treated each other.
And I've heard that before too.
Which leads people to say, I don't want marriage if it looks like this. So even though they came from a 2-parent household, married the whole 9, they still don't want to get married. Because like I said earlier, like Julian just said, people aren't being taught marriage. Like, it's just, you look good, you cute, you look like you bring the tangibles to the table, you got a good personality, this, that, and the third. Nobody's asking the real questions. What's your family like? Like, what values are you being taught? What was your mother like? What was she taught? Like, these are the things I'm going to teach my kids to ask their potential husband. Like, no, sis, you got to ask about your mother-in-law and your father-in-law and your sister-in-law. You got to ask about all of them, because all that matters. Yeah. All that can make or break a marriage. Unfortunately, I know people say, well, you're not marrying your in-laws. Yes, you are. Okay.
And then what kind of value system do you want to have within your marriage?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I've seen many couples over my family and other people. They would always say, you know, you should never argue in front of your children. You know, that's the thing that I would hear a lot religiously. That wasn't something, when I was married, that wasn't something that I subscribed to. Okay. Because I felt like, as a man and as a father too, I don't think I'm setting a good example for you as a man if I sit here and I just let your mother say anything that she wants to me, you know what I'm saying, and I don't say anything. You know what I mean? So I felt like that was my thing as me as an individual. I'm not saying that it's wrong or right, but you know, like I talked about before, my cousin, she always talked about you know, and they got a big family, it's 6 of them, you know, but they wasn't allowed to fight in their house at all. Like, you could not physically fight. And I never forget, one day me and my brother got to my father, like, nah, let them go out there and get it out their system. You know what I mean? So you got different rules for different things. Right. So we got to see, you know, you go to some of the conversations that you got to have. Okay, so how do you feel about children? How many children do you want to have? Do you want to have any children at all? You know what I mean? Those are real conversations that need to be had up front. How do you feel about divorce? How do you feel about marriage? You know what I mean? Though, like, people aren't having them. And that's the thing. Oh, it's so good. He made me feel so good, and she looked good, and this and that there. And you know, I tease my friends all the time too, because I was guilty of that. You know what I mean? We looking for, especially now, I have no problem. As far as age-wise, I have no problem dating a woman that's younger than me. Just from an age standpoint.
Come on, you gotta put your ad out there.
No, I'm saying, you know, for real. But your mental got to be still appropriate. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like, your mind can't be that age, so to speak, because you got to have those, like I said, at the end of the day, you just got to have those real conversations that I feel like people don't want to have these days, because they feel like they're too difficult. You know, I was bringing that up because, of course, when the as far as men, you know, where women are emotional creatures. Men, we're visual. So, of course, we like to see a nice young thing, nice body, you know, things in the right place. You know what I'm saying? We like to see him going to the gym and all that there. Now, to play devil's advocate, as much as I like to see that, I have to keep things in perspective too. I can't expect you at 45 years old, 50 years old to look like you did when you was 22. Right. Because that's an anomaly. Like, nobody. Because guess what? I don't look like I did when I was 20. So how can I expect you to look the same kind of way? You know what I mean? And I trust me, I had this conversation with my men friend a lot, because that's something that you got to understand. Yeah, you want her to look presentable, but dude, look at you. Are you presentable? You know what I mean?
Right.
I try to make sure I stay working out because I don't want nobody to be like, man, he cute. He got a good head on his shoulder, but he's sloppy. No woman on the face of this earth will ever say that about me. I don't care if I live to be 90 years old. I got to keep it together. And that's not being vain to me, but I know what I want. I want something that I can look at and happy to see. So I want to be able to give you the same exact thing in return. That's all.
It's nothing wrong with preference. Now we know some of Marvin's preferences. So all of y'all who aren't on here, y'all heard it. You don't want nothing sloppy. She can be younger, but she got to be mentally right. Okay.
Yeah. There you go. No, she can't be sloppy now. Yeah, she can't be sloppy.
Goes back to what I said. We on Facebook having a discussion, and we done turned into Plenty of Fish. Christian Mingle. We done put out a whole.
It's the right place for it. And the next time I have you on, that's something that I want to get into because on the last show we ventured to the light skin and light skin versus dark skin, but we never really got into it. But preferences, that's a thing I catch a lot of flack for over my friends. And I refuse to feel bad about it.
But you said you a male chauvinist at the beginning. So we need to dissect that. Because, sir, what you're not gonna do is get you a good woman and let this male chauvinism. No, sir. It's 20.
Oh no. Listen, I'm saying this is my point. To be real overall. Now I'm not saying I'm complete chauvinist or women don't have no place in America and a woman role is this here and that there. No. Because I've never been in any relationship at all, where I'm like, I'm the man and you the woman, and you supposed to, like they say, behind every good man is a good woman. I hate that saying because I don't want my good woman behind me pushing me on. I want my good woman right there on the side of me. You feel what I'm saying? I want us to make decisions together.
Some of them men is a trash woman, and in front of some of them women is a dusty man. Okay, let's be clear.
Heard up. Jen always turns into a dating site. Jen, I keep telling you, you need to get on Bumble. You need to get on, I'm telling you, these sites, it's life in these sites, people.
No.
Don't knock it until you try it.
I told you, Facebook always becomes a dating site. It becomes Plenty of Fish, and you not even, you like, that's what I'm saying, too much.
Well, they actually got Facebook dating now, right?
I wouldn't know that.
Well, of course you wouldn't know, but yeah, they have Facebook dating now, where the same way you go on the apps, is a part of Facebook. If you sign up for it, you swipe right, you swipe left, you get to see their profile, what they little bio, all that did. But like you said, it literally has become a dating site.
I know a girl. This is my last statement. Listen, don't y'all say nothing negative about these dating sites because they actually work sometimes. Mm-hmm. I know a young lady who I worked with. She was on Tinder. This was when Tinder was popping. I don't know how long ago that was because I've never been on Tinder. Okay.
Still popping.
She was on Tinder. Okay, so boom. She was on Tinder, swiped her way right to a doctor. She married a doctor.
Yeah.
Who she is like, it's not like, oh, I married him because he's a doctor. No. They are like one of these couples you see and you be like, ew, like the way y'all love each other is just so insane. Like it's disgusting. I hate it. Do y'all have to do all this all the time? Like y'all really love each other for real like that? Like, right? It's like she found her soulmate on Tinder. So y'all don't knock these little dating sites.
And I'm not saying that as a high percentage though, but you can't knock all of them. Like I said, my cousin, he just celebrated his 12-year anniversary about a month ago, and he met his wife on a dating site.
I'm telling you, they work. I mean, I wouldn't know, but you know what I'm saying. I heard.
Yeah.
I've seen.
And if nothing else, you get some good friendships, if nothing else.
Let me find out you a Tinder swiper.
Oh, little lovable Mar. on all apps. On all platforms. Instagram, Bumble, Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Farmers Only.
Y'all heard it first.
I'm on them all.
Marv is on all the sites, y'all. Go tell y'all friends.
Lovable Mar. LUVRBOOMARV.
Come on, let me type it in the chat. Come on, give it to me.
LUVRBOOMARV. Y'all holler at y'all boy. I'm too much of a romantic to be single. I got too much love to give the women to be single.
Let me see. Now
y'all help hook a brother up.
Y'all see it. It's on all platforms.
Yeah, Jim, farmers only too. I don't discriminate.
Something has shifted, my friend. I know, Mary, something, because I'm here for it. Just make sure I can broadcast live from the wedding, okay? Here we are at Marvin Bennett's wedding to his lovely bride, who he met on Farmers.
And our announcement. I don't know. Like I said, that's a whole nother topic. I tell people I don't know about the marriage thing again. I still think marriage is a beautiful thing, but for personal reasons, I don't feel like I have the. I still don't. For my own personal studies, I don't have the right to get married again.
Part 3, because you're talking crazy.
That's that. Nah. I'm telling you, from a biblical standpoint, I don't see it.
Okay.
So I've been going back and forth, and I've been going back and forth with some scholars, and hearing different.
Talk to some of them pastors who on their third wife, and then come back to this, and we'll have.
And those the main ones I don't need to talk to, because of course you agree with it.
Go and talk to them that's on their third wife, then come back and let's have part 3. Jennifer said farmers only is the cross hope. Listen, he crossing over. You might want him a Becky. Okay? Becky with the red hair.
It ain't a crowd for help. I'm saying I'm an equal opportunist. You know what I'm saying? You never know where that pot of gold, you're gonna find that pot of gold. You know what I'm saying? You gotta explore all avenues. You're gonna
find it amongst the chickens and the cows, huh?
She might teach me how to, grow my own garden.
Yeah.
Work the field. You know what I'm saying?
Ride the horses.
Go to school and become a horticulturist. Get my own farming grant.
Lord, but I do. No, part 3. I'm done. I can't. All
right, Lau, as usual, like I said, man, I appreciate you, girl.
Absolutely.
Thanks for taking out the time to do this. It was fun as I thought it would be, man. And like I said, we're gonna have to work out something, because I love it. I love our energy. Like, it's hard to find another female that match my. Nah, bruh, you wrong on this one. You know what I mean? And that's what I be needing. Yeah. I don't need nobody to pacify my feelings and all that kind of stuff. I like somebody that's gonna keep it real with me, the same way I keep it real with them. Because at the end of the day, that's the only way we grow.
Pacifier friend. I don't do that.
Absolutely. And one of my favorite memories of you is the day that we was out there in the vestibule and we was getting ready to leave church, and I had spoke to Lisha, was like, "What's good, man?" And he was like, "What up, bro?" And you was like, for a second, I forgot that was your son.
I forgot. I swear, I was like, "What up, bro?" What? It threw me off. I swear it threw me so off. But I was like, you know what? I'm on my business. So I'm going to just put my head down and finish my little orange Fanta, because at this point, I'm baffled. I'm baffled, but whatever. That's y'all dynamic, and that's what's up. But yeah, no, I'm not the type that's going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what's real. So if you don't want to hear what's real, don't ask me. Yeah.
And that's why I love you. That's why I rocks with you.
Oh, thank you.
Don't ever change.
Absolutely not. I'm too far gone.
I know that's right.
No change.
So get a love to my brothers, my nieces. Know that I love you guys, and we'll be back next week to be the first episode in the month of May. So we're gonna be doing a live Q&A, current affairs, just keeping it real, just talking, having a conversation, just catching up on what's been going on over the course of the last month, and ideas and stuff for new shows and things to come up. But I look forward to seeing you guys then. While you can, love on one another, love on your family members. Call a friend tomorrow that you haven't talked to in X amount of years, just to say, hey, I've been thinking about you. DM them, or if you don't have a number, you can always DM, whatever the case may be. But and these, nobody's promised tomorrow, and I'm a firm believer of, from the moment that we're born, the moment that we enter into this world, I believe we have started our quest to death.
Mm-hmm.
So
every minute is a minute closer.
Everybody that's watching this, we closer to our death than we are the beginning. You know what I mean? So it's important that for these days that matter and the time that we do have left, to let each other know what you mean to them. Let each other know how much you love them. If somebody has hurt you, it ain't no, you know what, I'm better off, I'm gonna just leave it alone. No. Let somebody know that they hurt you. You know what I'm saying? You can't have proper healing unless you clear some of these things up. So all the beefs, all that stuff there, let's get it out of our system. Let's heal. Let's love on each other. Let's grow together, because that's the key. That's the way we all overcome, as not individuals but together. So if you don't mind, do that for me, and continue to keep me in your prayers as well as you are in mine. I love all you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And until next week, as usual, and signing off, DeAndre and LYASHIA, know that I love you unconditionally, but I also love you intentionally. Till next week, peace.
Peace.